Okay, wonderful. Well, we might get started now that the recording's commenced, and it's just gone a couple of minutes after 6 o'clock here where I am in Western Australia, but we might have lots of people across different time zones. Ellie, I'm sorry, you might have been planning to do this, but actually it's always really lovely to see where people are from. So if people are happy to pop into the chat which part of the world you're in, that would be wonderful, just so that we have a sense of where people are listening in from. While we do that, I'll just introduce myself briefly and then the other members of the Engage with DLD team that are here. So my name's Emily Jackson. As I mentioned, I'm currently in Perth in Western Australia, and I'm one of the Engage with DLD team members. I also work at Curtin University here. Also joining us online, we have Michelle St. Clair, who is the Director of Engage with DLD. We also have Suze Leitao, who also works at Curtin University here in Western Australia. And our presenter for today is also a wonderful member of Team E-DLD. We're going to be hearing from Ellie Barker, who's talking us through the adult members' summary of Engage with DLD. It is so lovely. We've got people from North Brisbane, Surrey in the UK, few people in the UK. We have Scotland, got some very familiar faces from Perth. Hello. Lots of people from England. Wonderful. I was kind of hoping to see someone from Canada, because if they're joining at 6 a.m, they get the prize if we have one. So thank you so much, everybody. And I'm going to hand over to Ellie. So just a reminder that we're recording the session at the moment. So keep your cameras off if you don't want to be in the recording. It will go on YouTube and our website. And then we'll stop the recording for some dedicated Q&A time at the end. So over to you, Ellie.
Thank you, Emily. So hi, everyone. So yeah, this is the adult members summary of the E-DLD project. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what this event's going to be. Give you a quick introduction to the Engage with DLD project, and then we'll go through some of our adult members' data. They fill in 2 different surveys for us, so we'll go through that. So firstly, what's the E-DLD project? So Emily's just introduced everyone, but here's everyone's faces. So I've just worked as the placement student and research assistant. So that's how I got into the E-DLD and how I've done this work. So for everyone who doesn't know what the E-DLD project, Engage with Developmental Language Disorder, was the first international database of individuals with DLD. And our members are both parents of children who have DLD that are under the age of 16 and individuals with DLD who themselves are 16 or over. And that's what this event is focusing on. And we work with advertising ethically approved DLD projects to our members so that they can participate in research. So our data consists of 2 areas. We have the sign-up data from when our members sign up and they answer some information about themselves, their demographics, and family information, and a bit of information about their language challenges and any diagnoses they may have. And then after they've signed up, our members then receive a yearly survey once a year. And this has a little bit more information about themselves and some information on mental health symptoms and some personal reflections, amongst other things. So then getting on to our adult data. So far, we have 61 members on our adult database at this point, and that have completed the sign-up data. So who are our adult members? So we have 61 members. Of that, 21 of them, so about 35%, have a formal diagnosis of DLD. And the remaining 65% self-identify as having DLD, and they have answered a few of our screening questions to identify that they do likely have DLD. We can see that our members, we have more females than males in our database, and the average member's age is 36, but we have a wide variety of age ranges from 18 through to 65. And it's worth noting that 72% of our database is white but we do have a variety of ethnic backgrounds in our database, as we can see in this colourful pie chart. So then we talk about the E-DLD being international. So where are all our members from? So we do say 64% of our members do live in the UK, but we have members in 14 different countries, including Australia, the US, Germany, Malaysia, Hungary, Canada, lots and lots of different countries. So then, as well as asking where our members live, we also ask what languages they speak, because it's important to know. So 72% of our members are monolingual, they just speak the one language. However, 28% of our members speak multiple languages, and some speak quite a lot of languages actually. Our members speak languages from Bengali, Cantonese, Russian, Spanish, Turkish, quite a lot of different languages, to be honest, which is great. Then, just a little bit more about who our members are. So we ask them their relationship status. As we can see from this graph, we have a wide variety of people in different statuses of relationships, from married and living together, dating, living separately, single. We've got a wide variety of people across our 61 members. And then we also ask if our members have siblings, and the vast majority of our members do. We have 85% of our members have at least one sibling. And then we also ask our members if they've got any children. And few of our members have children, and that's about 36% of our members have one or more children. So then we move on to the DLD of it all, and we ask our members about what areas of language they struggle with. And we ask them about 6 main areas of language. And so we can see that over 80% of our members report difficulties with expressive language, or struggles with expressive language and finding the right word to use. We then have just over 70% of our members struggle with receptive language, so understanding spoken language that they're hearing. And then just under 70% of our members report struggling with learning new words. So they're the most reported struggles, but we also have members, just over 40%, report difficulties with pragmatic language, so that's difficulties using socially appropriate language. And then even fewer report difficulties with speech sounds. We do also ask if they have any other struggles, and some of the other struggles that our members report are memory and some spelling difficulties and some difficult struggles with reading comprehension. So yeah, that's the main language struggles our members report having. We also ask our members if they have any other conditions alongside DLD, and we ask them about 7 of the most common co-occurring conditions. And we can see that just over 50% of our members report having anxiety, 41% report having depression, and then we can also see that just over a quarter also report that they have ADHD alongside DLD. Slightly fewer have dyslexia, and then even fewer than that report having autism or dyscalculia or dyspraxia. So we can see that there are a few co-occurring conditions with our members, and so that's just important to know. So then we have our yearly survey information. So this is sent to our members a couple of weeks after they sign up, and then yearly from then. And so whilst we've had 61 members sign up to our adult database, we've had only 24 of our members have completed a yearly survey at this point. So the sample size for this is much smaller, and that's important to know. So our yearly survey asks a lot more detailed information about our members' lives, as well as a few other questions. So we ask our members what their highest education level is. And to be honest, we've got quite a wide variety of highest education levels, up to PhD. So we've got 13 members who report having degrees, and this includes a range of bachelors, from bachelors of science and arts. We have people who have masters, postgraduate diplomas and certificates, and more than one of our members have PhDs. So that's really great to know. But remember, this is only from 24 people who've answered this. We also have a member who has a higher national diploma, and from my understanding, that's equivalent to about 2 years of a bachelor's degree. And then again, we have 2 members who have NVQ level 3s. Now, this is equivalent to 2 A levels, so this is quite a UK-based qualification that someone will take at around 18. And then we have a few other members that themselves have A and AS levels. So then we see that our members have a wide variety of education levels. So we also ask them what job areas or what jobs they do. And we can see that our adult members work in really a wide range of job areas. So we have people who work in the caring and social work areas. We have teachers, and we have people who are engineers, and they work quite high up in leadership roles. And then one thing that I think is really cool and really important to note is that we have more than one of our members are qualified SLTs, they're qualified speech and language therapists, and they themselves have DLD. And I just think that's a really great thing to know that we've found out through this database. So then we also ask our members for their take-home income. How much do they earn each month? And so just to put everything in a bit of perspective, in the UK, the median monthly income is just over £2,000. So then we ask our members how much they take home, and we can see that there's quite a good range of people's earnings, and we can see that about a quarter of our adult database take home the median monthly income, roughly, and then we have 30% who are earning over that, and 43% who are just under that. So we can see that we have a wide variety of income, education levels, a wide variety of job areas, and then we have a variety of monthly take-home income. So then, our questions in our yearly survey is we ask our members about their mental health, and we have them complete several different short questionnaires that look at specific areas of mental health. So firstly, they answer the questions on the PHQ-9, and this looks at depression symptoms. And of our 24 members, about 66% are over the cutoff for having high depression symptoms. And so this is on average across our database. The adult E-DLD members do have significantly higher depression symptoms than a normative example. But again, this is just on average. And when we've looked at between our members who have a formal diagnosis of DLD and those who self-identify, there's no difference within that. So on the whole, our adult members do have significantly higher depression symptoms, and that doesn't vary whether they have a formalized diagnosis of DLD or not. And again, this is just depression symptoms. So then they also answer about their own anxiety symptoms. And we can see that slightly fewer on the whole percentage are over the cutoff for anxiety. This is about 54% of our members. But again, they do have, on the whole, significantly higher anxiety symptoms than that of a normative sample. So on the whole, our adult members do have more anxiety symptoms. And again, when we look between those who have a formal diagnosis of DLD and those who simply self-identify as having DLD, we found no significant difference in their anxiety symptoms. So we just found that on the whole, our members have higher anxiety symptoms than a normative sample. So then one of the other scales that we ask our members to complete is asking about their self-esteem and what they feel about themselves. So this one we've had 23 of our members responded to, so slightly less than have done the whole yearly survey. And we can see that our members' mean score is 24. And it is considered a score of below 25 to be indicating low self-esteem. So just that in itself tells us that on the whole, our members are reporting lower self-esteem on average. And then again, we looked at this and we found that our adult DLD members do have significantly lower self-esteem than a normative sample. And that again, having a formal or informal DLD diagnosis didn't change this. And then, so yes, that. And then the really fun one to say, alexithymia. I think that's how we say it. I always struggle with that one. We asked our members their symptoms. And so just to clarify, because it's a big scary word, alexithymia is when a person has difficulty with the vocabulary surrounding emotions. And we found that 2.73% of our members are over the cutoff for having more alexithymia. So again, we found that there was a significant difference between our adult DLD members and a normative sample, with, on the whole, our adult E-DLD members reporting having significantly more alexithymia than a normative sample. Again, we looked at if there was any difference between if our members were formally diagnosed with DLD or not, and we found no difference. So just again on the adult E-DLD members do have significantly more alexithymia than a normative population. So then, as well as these scales, we ask our members if they've ever accessed therapy. And we find that 62.5% of our members have. And this is including therapy from the NHS or private or provided for by a charity. So this is just looking if they've ever accessed therapy, and yes, 62.5% have. We then ask those members if they found it useful, and the vast majority did. So we found 73.3% of our members report who access therapy report finding it useful. So that's good to know. So then we move on to the last couple of questions on our E-DLD yearly survey. We ask our members their concerns, their strengths, and what they're excited about. So this is just to capture the members' voices, to hear what they've got to say about their lives and what they're looking forward to, what they're concerned about. And we can just see that in our members' sample, they have a wide variety of concerns, everything that you'd expect, being a good parent and a role model. They're concerned about their job and finding the right job, dating, making new friends, just a wide variety of exactly what you'd expect. When people just go about their lives, these are their concerns. But then, more interestingly as well, we ask our members their strengths. And it's great to hear what our adult with DLD members consider to be their strengths. And we have so many strengths reported. People report resilience, empathy, they consider themselves to be tenacious, They don't give up easily. They're great at cooking. And someone says, if someone says I can't do something, you better believe I'll prove them wrong. And that's just great. It shows that their strength, someone here says that their disabilities have given them strength. So this is just really great to hear our members' voices and to hear what they consider to be their strengths. People say they're happy, they're just a really happy person, they're empathetic, they don't give up easily. And so this is just a really nice way to hear our members and what they consider to be their strengths. And this is just a snippet of them. There were so many strengths people reported, and it was really great to read through and really great to hear. And then finally, we asked our members what they're excited about. And there was so many wide variety of things. People were excited about building their careers and watching their children grow up. People talking about exploring their spirituality, excited about going on holiday. And here we have some quotes from our members. Someone said that they were really excited about university and their studies. Someone else is excited about getting a new job and moving out. Other people reported being excited about watching their children grow up and develop. And it was just really wonderful things to read about what our members are excited about, instead of just focusing on their language struggles. It's great to hear their voices and what their strengths and what they're excited about. And so I feel like I've really whizzed through that. That went very quickly. So sorry about that. But that is our adult members summary. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ellie. It always feels like you talk very quickly when you're presenting, but that was timed very well. So thank you so much. The chat has been absolutely ricocheting, which is exciting. There's lots of people who have lots of questions for us. While the recording is still on,